What's going on, everybody? It's me, Peyton from Judgment Day Fitness, and today we're going to go over not one, not two, not three, but 10 fitness mistakes that I made in my past, mostly in my early lifting days and even recently. So one mistake that you guys can avoid is not being subscribed to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Also, please like this video and comment on it if you wouldn't mind. Commenting on the video helps me with my YouTube algorithm, so even if you don't like my channel, you can at least help me get more subscribers or more traffic into my channel. I'd really appreciate that. So without further ado, we're going to dive into these 10 mistakes that I've made, so hopefully you can avoid making them, or you can laugh at me. Doesn't matter. Alright, so mistake number one was I did not research what I was doing, or research what I was doing enough. The simple fact is, when I was 14, I had an absolute rush to get as big as I possibly could. I would just get in the gym and I'd be lucky. And really, this is the basement or the underlying cause of every other mistake that I'm going to tell you guys about. Very likely, I can't think of any off the top of my head that weren't caused by me not doing enough research. And you know, it would have saved me a lot of time and a lot of worries and a lot of not really any injuries. I wouldn't say I got any injuries because of my stupidity, but it would just, you know, I could have made a lot more progress if I had been more wise and had decided to look before I leap in this case. And so, you know, it wasn't around until I was probably, you know, I started at 14, and it probably wasn't around until I was maybe 16 or a little bit after that, that I actually started to research and started to really dive into fitness and say, hey, this is what I need to do. I'm going to learn this. And you know, not that I'd been doing it wrong for 2 years. I'd been very off and on from 14 to 16. So I say, you know, when someone asks when my journey to fitness began, maybe it started at 14, maybe it started at 16, maybe it started, you know, who knows. But that's the basic summary of the first mistake that I made. Alright, so the second mistake that I made was not exactly skipping abs and legs, but it was more not paying enough attention to them. I thought if I just did 1 or 2 exercises for my legs, then I would be able to get, you know, nice legs that were proportionate to the rest of my body, which I was working out way more. And I know it's weird, most people just hate legs. Me personally, I hate legs and abs, although now I'm starting to warm up to legs a little more, and now I'm actually starting to warm up to abs a little bit more as well. But again, that was my main issue for maybe a year or two, until eventually I corrected it, and now I'm, you know, really caught up to everything that I'm supposed to be at. You know, I'm not skipping them anymore, I promise. I don't like doing them nonetheless, but I still do the amount that is proportionate to the amount of attention I give the rest of my body. My bad, guys, I had to change my shirt. It's getting hot in here. I live in Florida. So anyways, the third mistake that I made was these right here. I'm so sorry, you guys, I let you down. But yes, I used to wear gloves. I used to use the squat pad as well, but it's also known as the pussy pad, because it's for mostly women. And there's nothing wrong with it. I don't have anything against it, but just like a stereotype. And not that I really care much, but I realized that calluses are much better. Let me show you guys, okay? These calluses right here, I don't know if you can see them. Yeah, you can see them. These calluses right here are meant to handle whatever, you know, and I'm much happier now that I actually took the gloves off. I just keep them around as a reminder, maybe, or I don't even know why I still have them around, but at least I got to show you guys proof. And actually, oh gosh, there are videos of me using gloves. Well, I guess we can't erase that from the internet. So be careful what you put on the internet, guys. Internet is forever. Alright, so my fifth mistake stems from, once again, you're never going to believe this, not looking before I leap. I was overstressing time off from the gym. Okay, so when I would go on a vacation, when I would get sick and miss a few days from the gym, of course when I got sick I lost weight and stuff, but you know, when I took time off from the gym, I would start to overstress and overthink, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm on this vacation, I'm having so much fun, but at the same time I'm losing my muscle and losing everything I worked for, you know, and that's not true. I didn't research it, you know. So it turns out that muscle atrophy sets in after 2 weeks of not working out, and again, it can be slowed down by taking BCAAs or by, you know, and by getting enough sleep and getting enough protein in your diet. And I simply wasn't doing that. I was just paranoid. I didn't know about muscle memory and all that stuff, and it was just, you know, to the point where nothing bad happened, because I don't, you know, go on vacation every week, but you know, I would start to get a little sad or depressed, or just, you know, start thinking way more than I should about it whenever I would be on vacation or whenever I'd take, even if I missed a day, I would start freaking out. But eventually I did learn about how long it takes for muscle atrophy to set in and what I could do to prevent muscle atrophy or slow it down. And so yeah, I fixed that problem, thank goodness. Alright, so the fourth mistake that I made in my youth, or I'm 20, so am I still in my youth technically? I don't know, who cares? The fourth mistake that I made in my youth, of my early training days, was not paying enough attention to diet, and this stems from, of course, not looking before I leap and not researching anything about fitness and just like diving into it. And this lasted for maybe, you know, longer than it should have. How about that? I don't know, I don't have exact time periods on everything here, but it lasted longer than I should have. These mistakes should not have been made. But I did not pay enough attention to diet, and I was still drinking soda, eating junk food. I love soda. I love junk food. I love, you know, candy. I love my peanut M&Ms, you know, and Sprite and Mountain Dew and stuff like that. And I didn't really care enough, and I thought that somehow I was going to out-train a bad diet. But it turns out you can't, and there's nothing wrong with eating bad stuff, you know, stuff that's bad for you, but just not in excess, you know. And so I didn't really realize that at the time, but of course I do now, and I eat a lot better. But it, you know, I definitely could have made a lot more progress if I had not been making that mistake. And you know, just stuff happens, but it's okay. Alright, so the sixth mistake that I made was definitely overdoing it. I love working out, I love lifting heavy stuff, I love looking in the mirror and saying, wow, alright, did my lats get bigger? Did my abs get more defined? You know, I love a lot of aspects of working out, and there's nothing wrong with working out a lot, but unfortunately too much of a good thing is a bad thing. And this came to the point where I was going for sometimes 3 hours a day, not for training anybody, as I'm a personal trainer, but just like working out for 3 hours a day, sometimes coming home and still doing like crunches or pull-ups or something with that pull-up bar you see right there, to the point where I would put off social events with my friends. And if my friends are watching this, I'm so sorry about this. It was kind of an issue for me, like bigorexia or something. But you know, the thing is, you will see results from working out, unless you have something medically wrong with you, like no testosterone or something. You will see results from working out, but you know, to an extent. You cannot rush anything. I can't make a transformation from where I started to where I am now within a matter of a few days, based on, you know, a few workouts. And you know, to me, I thought the more work I put in, the more results I would see. But unfortunately, there is only a certain amount of results that I can see within a certain amount of time, because of factors like testosterone and diet. And no matter what I do, there's only a certain amount of results that I can see from that. I didn't realize that at the time, but I do now, thank goodness, and it's not an issue I make anymore. Hey, I go to the gym 3 times a week for 2 hours each session usually, and then I, you know, of course I'm there for training people and doing a boot camp and all that stuff, but you know what I mean. Alright, now the seventh mistake that I made was not paying attention or prioritizing progressive overload. You know, I thought if I had one good workout, then it surely must be something that I can use forever. And so I didn't try to increase the weights on anything, and I was, you know, so foolish in doing this, of course. I did not try to push myself harder. I thought if I, you know, even if I'm not out of breath, I went through some workouts without even sweating, and that was absolutely ridiculous, an absolute waste of time and membership money. But it was, you know, something I did fix eventually, of course. This did not last very long because I found a guy in the gym who wanted to be a workout buddy and helped me learn so much. But, you know, again, it was an issue because I was not making progress during that time, because progressive overload, progress is in the word progressive overload. You need to achieve progressive overload in order to make results happen. And I did not realize that at the time, but again, thankfully, it was just a short amount of time that I was making this mistake. Someone stepped in and helped me out. And yeah, here I am today doing progressive overload all the time. Alright, now the 8th mistake that I made, and this one still affects me to this day, but we'll get into that in a second, is not stretching enough, or at all sometimes. It's something I've always known is important in order to prevent injury, but for some reason it always slips my mind to stretch and to, you know, stretch out before my workouts and just, you know, let loose a little bit. Unfortunately, I forgot that so many times, and now the issue I'm having is my hamstrings are too tight, and so is my lower back from all the deadlifts I did, because I forgot to stretch my lower back and my hamstrings, and so I can't touch my toes now when I do a bent over, you know, stretch, and I'm having a little bit of back issues with that. Fortunately, it's not, you know, anything major, something that's fixable that I have to work towards to achieving. But, it's something that I should have, maybe, sometimes I wrote it down on my arm, sometimes I forgot to write it down on my arm, and so that, unfortunately, has had negative consequences that I'm still feeling to this day. But, I've had worse in terms of injuries and, issues preventing me from going to the gym and stuff. I can still work out, but, it's just something that could have been avoided if I had stretched. All right, mistake number 9 is that I did not research the proper terminology and physiology of anatomy and physiology and bodybuilding. Yeah, and that was an issue that again stems from the first mistake I made, which was not paying attention or not researching anything, not looking before I left. And it did affect me a little bit. One time, I could have not made a fool of myself in certain situations, which nothing too big of a deal happened. Fortunately, I'm not on any fail videos as far as I know. But one time I was like, dude, if I keep doing these curls like this, I'm gonna have some huge triceps, and that works your biceps. So that was a point where I made a fool of myself. Fortunately, I wasn't giving like a speech or anything at a conference, but it was still something that could have been avoided, that should have been avoided. I would have been a lot better off if I knew that. And it happens. It happens, but I fixed it. I eventually started learning stuff. And again, this was not something that persisted for a long time, but I was able to fix it very quickly. Learning physiology and anatomy is so easy in bodybuilding. It doesn't take long at all, and you should definitely do that if you've not done that already, so you don't end up like me. It was only temporary though, I promise. Alright, so the 10th and final mistake that I made was not paying attention to sets, reps, and exercises and not changing them up as often as I should have, or just at all. There was a very short period of time where I did not see any progress, and that was because I was not changing my sets and reps. I was not doing progressive overload, and so eventually someone swooped in and helped me, and I'm thankful to him to this day. But yeah, this could have all been avoided. I could have seen so much more progress if I had done this. And again, it was an early mistake that I made, but fortunately I was able to fix it very quickly. And once I started fixing it, I saw great results. It takes 2 weeks for your body to get used to sets, reps, exercises, routines, habits, anything like that. And so you need to make sure that I personally suggest every 2 weeks you change up your sets, reps, and exercises. It doesn't have to be a complete 180-degree turnaround, but in some variation you need to change it up. So thank you guys for watching. These are the 10 mistakes that I made, and hopefully if you are just beginning in bodybuilding or whatever point you are in bodybuilding, you're not making them or you won't make them anymore. And so I hope this video was informational to you guys. My email is in the description below if you want customized workout programs. I'm also learning coaching for macros and stuff, so I can help you guys avoid these mistakes as well. So hit me up if you need that. Also, my Instagram and my Twitter are in the description below. Please subscribe to this channel. Please like the video. Check out my other videos and comment on the video, please. And I will see you guys later. Don't make these mistakes, and have a great day.